Okay, so we are discussing solutions, method of solutions of linear differential equation with constant coefficient. Uh, the standard reduced form of linear differential equation is phi of d into y is equal to function of x. So here y is dependent and x is independent variable, and its solution we call it as a general solution or complete solution, which is the value of dependent variable involved in the differential equation in terms of independent variable involved. Isn't it? So here independent variable is x and dependent variable is y. So accordingly, its complete solution or general solution is equal to the combination of two sub solutions CF and PI. These are called sub solutions. CF is the complementary function and PI is the particular integral. To find this complementary function, we have started with the right hand side to be 0 to find the complementary function. That is, we have considered the homogeneous differential equation, that is phi of d into y is equal to 0. This is called homogeneous differential equation, and its solution is nothing but the complementary function, right? And to find or to solve this homogeneous differential equation, we have considered its auxiliary equation, that is phi of d equal to 0. And by getting the roots of this auxiliary equation, we have discussed the four formulas to write the complementary function, that is depending upon the nature of root, whether the roots are real or complex. Accordingly, we have main two formulas, and if real repeated and real distinct, then we have the formulas. Complex repeated and complex distinct, we have the formulas. So such four natures of the roots and accordingly four formulas of complementary function we have discussed for 1 or 2 marks in the theory examination. Then we have started with the particular integral. Particular integral. So it involves integration as it is particular integral. And the formula of particular integral we have proved as a 1 upon phi of d into f of x, where this f of x is the right hand side function, f of x. And then depending upon this nature of right hand side function, we have main three methods to find this particular integral. What are those three methods? First is general method, which is applicable to all type of examples or all type of functions on the right hand side. Then shortcut method, which is again based on specific type of functions on the right hand side, specific only. And then last is short variation of parameter method, VPM, variation of parameter method. So that will be again a special type of method to find the to find the particular integral. So we have discussed in detail with the example about general method, and most of the times if the right hand side when function involves double exponential function or inverse trigonometric functions or a rational function, then we use general method or method of variation of parameter. But as the name is general, we can we can apply this method to all type of functions. It is applicable to all type of functions on the right hand side. So that we have discussed in detail. Then we are now discussing about shortcut method. There are 6 to 7 shortcut formulas to directly find the particular integral. Instead of evaluating the actual integration, we have the formulas. In general method, we actually have to evaluate the integration of this function, because actually phi of d is a function of derivative, so that is differential operator, and its inverse will be integrating operator. So 1 upon phi of d is an integrating operator we are operating on function. So that is kind of integration, isn't it? So in general method, we actually used to evaluate those integrations, and in shortcut, with the help of those integration formulas only, we have some formulas. Those standard formulas we are applying. to those standard functions. That is what the shortcut is. Okay, so uh, I think we have discussed 5 to 6 cases about shortcut. The first case is when f of x is, when the right hand side function is exponential function. Am I audible? Hello? Please check.
Yes, sir.
But Dhruvesh said, I'm not audible. Voice is not audible. Dhruvesh, please check your connection. Okay. Please let me know if I'm not clearly audible so that I can check the settings. Anyway, so in shortcut, we have discussed the first case as an exponential function. When the function on the right hand side function is exponential function in the given differential equation, then directly we can get the particular integral by shortcut formula. Remember, it should not be a double exponential function, e raised to e raised to. It's just a single exponential function. Then only we can apply this shortcut. So the shortcut method says the particular integral is pi is equal to 1 upon phi of d e raised to ax. Can be written as, yes, the simple keyword is replace this d by a. So 1 upon phi at a e raised to ax. That's it. This will be a particular integral. Very easy. But provided that this denominator must be non-zero. It should not be the case of failure. अगर ये case fail होता है, then what we do? We multiply this operator by independent variable. Here I'm writing phi of a is non-zero. अगर ये zero होता है, if phi of a is zero, then we are writing particular integral as a 1 up x times, that is independent variable times 1 upon phi dash of d, and into that we are replacing this d by a. So phi, I'm writing directly phi dash at a e raised to ax. This is equal to this when this is the case of failure, remember. So and so on. If this phi dash of a is again 0, then again we'll multiply one more independent variable x and इसका derivative, that is phi double dash at a, and so on, जब तक आपको denominator 0 नहीं आता तब तक. Then we have discussed the sub cases of this exponential function. I think 3 sub cases we have discussed. If this exponential function is of the form a raised to x, a to the power x, isn't it? If this exponential function is of the form a to the power minus x, and if this function is of the form constant function, any constant function, isn't it? So in case of exponential function, our keyword is replace d by a. In case of a raised to x kind of function, that is again exponential function, in that case our keyword for the replacement is replace d by log a. Okay, it must be a raised to x, huh? The coefficient of x must be 1. If it is not, then try to get that one first. I think I discussed the case also. In one examination, there was a question like f of x is given to be 2 raised to 2x. So most of the students have considered this log a, that a is 2, and that is wrong, isn't it? This is not of this form, a raised to x. So we have to get that form first by writing 2 raised to 2 raised to x. That is 2 raised to x, and 2 raised to 2 is 4. So 4 raised to x. So the value of a is 4. 4. Okay. So that is again very important. Then for a raised to minus x, the replacement is d by minus log a. And for constant k, the replacement is d by 0. Very simple. Okay. And that is all about the exponential case, the first case. We have discussed several examples also, and few more examples we are going to discuss after discussion of all those shortcuts. We'll discuss the combined cases actually. It is not necessary that an example will be asked on only one case, that is exponential or sine or polynomial. It is not the case. The question can be asked on combined case. The right hand side function is a combination of exponential also, a polynomial also, and trigonometric also. So we have to separate those cases, and then we can use these formulas, isn't it? So this is all about the first case. Then we have discussed the second case as a trigonometric function for sine and cos, isn't it? That is, when fx, the right hand side function, is sine of polynomial function ax plus b or cos of polynomial function ax plus b, then we have discussed the formula to find the particular integral pi is equal to 1 upon phi of d. But this phi of d we are writing in terms of d square, isn't it? If it is, if the powers of d are all if that phi of d is already given in terms of d square, then no problem. But if it is not, then we have to get that d square there. Phi of d square into f of x, when f of x is either sine or cos. So let us write for cos of ax plus b. For both of these, the criteria is same. What we are doing? We are replacing this d square by minus of a square. We have discussed even the proofs also why we are replacing d square by minus a square. So phi at minus a square cos of ax plus b, isn't it? But provided that this again should not be the case of failure. अगर ये case fail होता है, if this denominator is 0, then we have to do the same thing like in exponential function we did, that we are multiplying it by independent variable x, or whatever the independent variable involved in the given differential equation. We are multiplying by that independent variable into, we are differentiating this phi of d square. So that will be phi dash at d square. Remember, phi dash at d square into cos or sine. And then we are replacing into that this d square by minus a square. Yes? Any doubt? Okay. So this is about the sine and cos. Then we have discussed the next case, that is not actually a particular case, because it can be expressed in terms of exponential function. Even this also can be expressed in terms of exponential function, isn't it? And we can solve it. Like uh, sine of theta is what? What is the formula of sine theta? E raised to I theta minus e raised to minus I theta upon 2i. That will be in terms of complex, isn't it? A real function or real number, we can say, we can express in terms of complex, because actually reals are nothing but the complex, isn't it? Every real number is a complex number. Anyway, so sine theta is this, and cos theta is e raised to I theta plus e raised to minus I theta upon 2, isn't it? So I can express these functions in terms of exponential, and then I can use the exponential case. One and the same. In both the cases, you'll get the same answer. All or composite answer, isn't it? Uh, so here, in this case, the simple keyword is replacing d square by minus a square. You have to remember d square by minus times a square. Minus times. Remember, I'm not doing like this minus a and its square. Isn't it? This is not the case. Remember, wrong. Minus times a square. Okay. The third is, when the right hand side function is hyperbolic function, hyperbolic sine ax plus b, or hyperbolic cos of ax plus b, then what we are doing? We are replacing d square by plus a square. Or we can write these hyperbolic functions, hyperbolic sine and hyperbolic cos, in terms of exponential function. And then we can proceed with the exponential case. So that is again the same thing. The next is fourth case we have discussed. That is when the fx is a polynomial function like x raised to m. Is it? Polynomial function. Then what we are doing? We are writing, okay, I have a limitation for board here. So for this polynomial function, the particular integral is 1 upon phi of d x raised to m. So what we are doing? We are expanding this 1 upon phi of d using the Taylor's or Maclaurin series expansion, isn't it? Or we are writing this rational function in terms of infinite terms, is it? using the standard expansion. Mainly the two expansions we are using here, and that is actually a subcase of binomial expansion, isn't it? So those two expansions are 1 upon 1 plus p or 1 upon 1 minus p. These two expansions mainly we are using here. 1 upon 1 plus p को कैसे लिखेंगे हम? It is actually alternate plus minus sign. 1 minus p plus p square minus p cube plus and so on, isn't it? And here 1 upon 1 minus p is all of these terms with a positive sign, that is 1 plus p square plus p cube plus and so on, isn't it? So if you remember these two expansions only, then you can able to solve this case, polynomial case, isn't it? So what we are doing, we are expanding 1 upon phi of d using these expansions, and from that expansions we are considering the terms up to power of this polynomial or order of this polynomial. That means if the order of this polynomial is 2, then we are considering the terms in expansion up to d square only, isn't it? Because we have seen d cube of x square will be what? 0, isn't it? D raised to 4 of x square will be 0 and so on. So d cube and further all terms we are neglecting. Neglecting means what? They are actually 0, isn't it? So we are considering the terms up to d square only, remember. So that is again depends on the order of this polynomial, isn't it? So that I think we have discussed in the last lecture in detail. Then we have discussed the remarks about this also. If in the denominator if 1 is not there, then try to get that 1 first by taking constant term common. If constant term is also not there, then what we are doing, we are taking lowest degree term common from this operator, isn't it? From this operator, and then we are using this formula. So please try to recall those things. Then I think we have discussed the next case also, case number 5. Do we have discussed? Yes, case number 5.
Yes.
That is, I think f of x is e raised to ax into v, right? Where v is any function of x, where this v is any function of x among sine or polynomial function and so on. Those several cases we have discussed previously, isn't it? So the particular integral is 1 upon phi of d e raised to ax into v को कैसे लिखेंगे हम? We are writing this exponential function outside the operator, and immediately we are replacing this d by d plus a, isn't it? So I'm writing e raised to ax into 1 upon phi at d plus a into v. It's actually 10:20 and most still few students are joining. It's too late actually. Anyways, e raised to ax upon 1 upon e raised to ax into 1 upon phi of d plus a into v. If it is e raised to minus ax, then we are replacing d by d minus a, remember. So whatever the coefficient, we are replacing d by d plus that coefficient, okay? And then we will proceed this case using the case of v. If v is polynomial, then we will use the previous case. If v is sine or cos, then we'll use the case number 2, isn't it? So like this, we will proceed and we will try to eliminate this d or function of d. Remember what actually we are finding, the particular integral means what we are trying to eliminate, minimize or reduce this 1 upon phi of d. Then after that, the next case is, so I think we have discussed example on this case also. Please check if not. Then the case number next is when f of x is x into v, where v is any function of x, where power of x is 1 only. Okay. Then what we are doing, the particular integral, the formula is, I'm directly giving the formula, pi is equals to 1 upon phi of d. Pay attention here, 1 upon phi of d into x into v को कैसे लिखेंगे हम, which is equals to x minus phi dash of d upon phi of d into 1 upon phi of d into v. Isn't it? This is the formula actually. Okay. And then we will proceed, or we will solve this bracket first according to the form of v, and then we will multiply by that function inside to each And then we will again use 1 upon phi of d into that v, right? uh, but here the main thing is that this should not be the case of failure. अगर ये case fail होता है, then we go to the next case, isn't it? So 1 upon phi of d into v should not be the case of failure. So let me share the screen. uh, Please check whether the screen is visible or what. Is my screen visible? Hello, is the screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what the case number 6. When fx is x into v, where v is the case of failure, where v is any function of x, then yp or particular integral is what? 1 upon phi of d into fx, where fx is x into v. So it can be written as a x minus phi dash upon phi, or phi dash of d upon phi of d into 1 upon phi of d into v. So these are some remarks or the notes we can say. This case, x into v case, is generally used if power of x is 1. अगर x का power 1 नहीं होता है, then we cannot use this case. If x is if power of x is 2, x square into v, then we cannot use this case, isn't it? So it is restricted. Then 1 upon phi of d into v should not be the case of failure. अगर ये case fail होता है, then we cannot use this case. We have to go to the next case. If power of x is 1 and 1 upon phi of d into v is the case of failure, then we apply the next rule. So this is all about the, for example, this here, 1 upon d square plus 1 into x. You can see power of x is 1, isn't it? But 1 upon phi of d into v, where v is sine x, is the case of failure. Is it the case of failure? 1 upon d square plus 1 into sine x? Is it the case of failure? 1 upon d square plus 1 into sine x. What we are doing for sine? We are replacing d square by minus a square. What is a here? 1. So for when we replace d square by minus 1, minus 1 plus 1 will be 0. So that is the case of failure. So we cannot use this case for such kind of functions, x into sine x. Is that okay? So let us discuss one example. You can write this example. Solve d square plus or d2y by dx square plus 4y is equal to x sine x. Please let me know if the board and screen is not visible. So here the given differential equation is d2y by dx square plus 4y is equal to x sine x. So here I have evaluated only particular integral, but you have to evaluate CF and PI both. So what is complementary function here? What are the roots? Consider its capital D form first.
Plus minus 2i.
Yes, because its capital D form is d square, capital D square plus 4 equal to 0. That is the auxiliary equation. You can see on the board, d square plus 4 is equal to 0. Isn't it? So d equal to or d square is equal to minus 4. So d is equal to plus minus root of minus 4, and that is the complex, isn't it? Plus minus 2i. So with this complex root, where alpha is 0, real part is 0, and imaginary part is 2, we are writing the complementary function as e to the power 0x, is it? Into c1 cos beta, that is 2x, plus c2 sine 2x, isn't it? So this is the complementary function. All right. So to find the particular integral, the formula is 1 upon phi of d into f of x. So substitute those phi of d and f of x. 1 upon d square plus 4 into x sine x. So here this is the case of x into v, is it? So we can apply the shortcut. We have to investigate here only. We have to check whether the shortcut is applicable or what. We have to check whether this function is out of those 7 cases we have discussed, 6 or 7 cases. Is it? If it is, then we can apply the shortcut. If it is not, then go to the general case. So yes, it is applicable here. Which case? X into v case. where v is sine x. So what that formula says, particular integral is equal to x minus phi dash. What is phi dash? 2d upon phi of d, that is d square plus 4, into 1 upon phi of d into v, that is sine x. Please ask if any doubt. Then first we will solve this one. So is it the case of failure? Check. What we are doing for sine? We are replacing d square by minus a square. So a is 1 here. So replace d square by minus 1. So minus 1 plus 4, that is 3. So I'm writing that 1 by 3 outside here. Or we can multiply by 1 by 3 sine x inside. So as it is constant, I'm taking outside. It is of no use. And then I'm multiplying by sine x inside. So x into sine x minus 2d upon d square plus 4 into sine x. So now it is your choice whether to apply d first or 1 upon d square plus 4 first onto sine x. So here I have applied d first. So d of sine x means derivative of sine x, which is cos x. Isn't it? And then 1 upon d square plus 4 into cos x. क्या होगा इसका? That is of the form 1 upon phi of d into cos ax. And what we are doing in this case? We are replacing again d square by minus a square. A is 1. So minus 1 plus 4 is 3. So that is minus 2 by 3 cos x. Isn't it? And that will be by multiplying 1 by 3 inside, 1 by 3 x sine x minus 1 by 3 into 2 by 3, 2 by 9 into cos x. That is your final particular integral. So therefore the general solution is y is equal to cf plus pi, complementary function plus particular integral. Please ask if any doubt in this example. Any doubt? Any doubt with this case? Hello?
No, sir.
Okay, let us have one more. Solve d square minus 2d plus 1 into y is equal to x e raised to x sin x. Now here on the right hand side, we have three functions of x, e raised to x, and sin x. So what we do, we can write this f of x as a e raised to x into x sin x, isn't it? Like this, e raised to x into x sin x. So v will be x sin x, and that will be like the previous case. So when I write pi is equal to 1 upon phi of d into e raised to x into x sin x, then I can use e raised to x into v case first. That is, replace, see on the board. What is pi? Pi is equal to 1 upon phi of d, that is d square minus 2d plus 1 into x e raised to x sin x. So what I'm doing, first of all, I'm writing this into its factored form. That is, this is the expansion of d minus 1 the whole square, isn't it? And here for this function, I'm writing e raised to x into x sin x. So which case I'm using here? E raised to x into v case, isn't it? So what that e raised to x into v case says, write this exponential function outside the operator, that is e raised to x, and immediately replace this d by d plus a. So when I replace this d by d plus a, what I'll get? D plus, what is a? A is 1, so d plus 1, and this minus 1 as it is, into x sine x. Clear? And then this will be easy to evaluate further. That is 1 upon d square only. So phi of d is d square only. That is very easy to evaluate further. So what we have now? E raised to x, इसका काम हो गया, इसको फिर से बीच में मत लाओ. So 1 upon d square into x sine x, isn't it? And now we can use the case x into v. What that says? E raised to x into x minus phi dash. So इसका derivative 2d upon that phi of d into 1 upon d square of sine x, isn't it? And here we can cancel, or if you don't want to cancel it, let it be, because we need it for the replacement. E raised to x into x minus 2d upon d square. And what is 1 upon d square of sine x? We are replacing d square by minus a square. What is a here? 1. So 1 upon minus 1, that is minus 1. So that is minus sine x. So I'll multiply by minus sine x inside. So e raised to x into minus x sine x minus minus plus 2d upon d square of sine x, isn't it? And then again, I can replace d square by minus a square, because this is of the form 1 upon d square into sine x. So what I'm having? Replace d square by minus a square. So that is again minus sine x. And then I can take the derivative of this sine, that is cos. So that is what the final answer you can check. That is so please ask if any doubt. You can do this. All right. So now the next case. Case number 7. That is the last case. Actually, in the previous pattern, 2015 pattern, this case was not that much important, because that is very much lengthier. But here in this 2019 pattern, the question will be asked for 7 marks also, isn't it? So that's why this case is very important, we can say here in this 2019 pattern, because 7 marks question will be there in this. So what the case is, when the right hand side function, or if we recall the last case, what we said there, if the power of x is not 1, right? If the power of x is not 1, and 1 upon phi of d into v is case of failure, then we use the next case. So what the next case is, if the power of x is not 1. So especially in particular, f of x is x raised to m, whatever the power of x, but that v will be sine ax only, x raised to m into sine ax, or x raised to m into cos x. So this is the last case of shortcut. So please note the change. The power of x may or may not be 1. Here there is no restriction on m, remember. It is not necessary, and it is not said that the power of x is not equal to 1, isn't it? ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. इस केस में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. That is the case in last case. That is power of x must be 1. तो यहाँ केस, यहाँ power of x may be 1 or may not be 1, isn't it? So in this case, what we are doing, let me recall the things from, I think you might have discussed in complex algebra in M1 or in 12th also, that Euler's formula. I know that e raised to I theta can be written as, what is the Euler's formula? Do you know? I can express this exponential function in terms of sine and cos. How to write? Any one of you, please. Tell me how to write e raised to I theta in terms of sine and cos. Yes, any one of you, please unmute your mic and tell me how to write e raised to I theta in terms of sine and cos.
Cos theta plus I sin theta.
Huh. E raised to I theta is cos of theta plus I sin theta. Thank you. That is correct. Isn't it? That is called the Euler's formula. And if it is minus, then e raised to minus I theta, that is the reciprocal or the inverse of e raised to I theta. So e raised to minus I theta को मैं कैसे लिखूंगा? Cos of theta minus I sin theta. Isn't it? You will say e raised to minus I theta is 1 upon e raised to I theta. That means 1 upon cos theta plus I sin theta. Is it? Then how do I getting minus sign there? Is it? So that is because of rationalizing the denominator that we have discussed in separation of real and imaginary part in complex algebra. So that I'm not going to discuss here. So these two formulas are very important uh, as far as, because we are going to use these formulas in the last unit also, complex analysis. That is the last unit we are having separately. So we need these formulas. And always remember, any, see, these are real functions, cos theta, sin theta. These are real functions. So these real functions I'm expressing in terms of complex number or complex function, like this, isn't it? So every real number, remember, is a complex number, but not conversely. Every complex number is not a real number. Just like 2 plus 3i, it is not a real number. But 2 is a real as well as complex also, because it can be expressed in terms of a plus ib. 2 को कैसे लिखूंगा मैं? 2 plus 0i, isn't it? Where 0 is the imaginary part. So okay, so here I can write e raised to I theta is this. So let me write for e raised to I ax. First of all, what is cos theta here? This complex number is of the form a plus ib. So what is a को क्या बोलते हैं हम? A is the
Real.
real part and b is the imaginary part, right? So in this way I can say cos theta is the real part of this complex number and sin theta is the imaginary part of this complex number. तो मैं इसको कैसे लिख सकता हूँ? Just like this, a is the real part. इसको अगर z बोलता हूँ मैं, z is a complex number, then a is the real part of z. That you know very well. These are the notations, and b is the imaginary part of z. So in this way I can express as a cos theta and sin theta. That is, cos theta क्या है? It is real part of e raised to I theta, isn't it? Real part of e raised to I theta, and sin theta is the imaginary part of e raised to I theta. So these formulas we need to express these functions. How? See here, I'm just writing this formula in terms of ax. So e raised to I ax is what? What is theta here? Theta is ax. So how to write this? It is I ax. So e raised to I ax को कैसे लिखूंगा मैं? Cos of ax plus I sin of ax, isn't it? If I multiply x raised to m on both sides, then x raised to m e raised to ix is x raised to m cos ax plus I times x raised to plus I times x raised to m sin ax. So what I'm having here, this is the real part of this complex number, like that means this complex number, and this is the imaginary part of this complex number, that means this complex number. Is it okay? Is it okay? Now with this, I'm going to write the formulas for these two functions for the shortcut. So if this is clear, then only you will be able to get the formulas. So please ask if any doubt in this. So I can write this x raised to m cos ax is a real part of x raised to m e raised to I ax, and x raised to m sin ax is the imaginary part of x raised to m e raised to I ax. Please check. Is it okay? This is real part and this is imaginary part. All right. So with this now, I'm going to write the formulas for shortcut. formulas for particular integral. So first formula I'm writing, that is pi is equal to 1 upon phi of d, let us say x raised to m sin ax. Alright, तो ये क्या है? This is imaginary part of this. Okay, so I can write 1 upon phi of d, imaginary part of what? X raised to m e raised to I ax. Please ask if any doubt in these formulas. Okay, imaginary part. And therefore, as this is an operator, इसका कुछ वैसे मीनिंग नहीं, उसका खुद का अलग कुछ वैल्यू नहीं है, ये ऑपरेटर है. अगर इसको हम किसी फंक्शन के ऊपर ऑपरेट करते हैं देन उसका वैल्यू बन जाता है. सो दिस इज अ डिफरेंशियल ऑपरेटर, इज इट डिफरेंशियल ऑपरेटर, और दिस इज एक्चुअली phi of d is differential and 1 upon phi of d is integral operator. So operator, in fact, basically it is operator. So operator onto function. So this is actually imaginary part of this function, the whole function. So what can I do? I can write imaginary part of this means imaginary part of 1 upon phi of d into x raised to m e raised to I ax. One and the same, because this is an operator. I can write inside imaginary part. Okay, so what I am having the formula now, pi is equal to 1 upon phi of d x raised to m sin x is nothing but imaginary part of 1 upon phi of d x raised to m e raised to I ax. Now, if you are able to recall the case e raised to ax into v, this is of the form e raised to x into v, where v is x raised to m and this is e raised to ax, where a is what? Coefficient of x, and what is that here? It is ia. It is not simply a, it is ia, coefficient of x. To use the case e raised to ax into v, and then we use that case to proceed further. Then finally or after this, we use e raised to x into v case. We'll solve further, we'll try to simplify further. Then based on v, we'll use the case number 4, that is polynomial function, and so on. And then finally, what will be having this, the whole bracket will be of the form a plus ib. After eliminating this phi of d throughout, we'll be having this, the whole of the form a plus ib, and iska imaginary part will be our particular integral. So what is the imaginary part of this? What is the imaginary part of this? Yes, what will be
B.
imaginary part of b? B means what here? B means whatever the coefficient of I in the final step, whatever the what we'll do there, we will separate out the real terms and imaginary terms first, and then we'll take I common, then something real terms plus I times something real terms, again I times beta or I times b. So a plus ib, where b is the coefficient of I. So whatever that coefficient of I in terms of bracket, that will be our particular integral. That's it. So actually अगर देखा जाए तो ये केस बहुत लेंदी है, लेकिन there are more chances now in this 2019 pattern to ask the question on this method, because as the question can be asked for 7 marks on this linear difference, because in earlier pattern most maximum marks for the question is 4, and this is not the proper justificable for the 4 marks, isn't it? So that is why this is very important case for this pattern now. So please ask if any doubt in the formulas. So I'm writing the formulas now again. So this is what the discussion on the formulas. So I'm rewriting the formulas, that is 1 upon phi of d. You can also write x raised to m sin ax is nothing but imaginary part of 1 upon phi of d x raised to m e raised to I ax, isn't it? And second formula is 1 upon phi of d x raised to m cos ax is nothing but real part of 1 upon phi of d x raised to m e raised to I ax. So these are only the two formulas in the last case. Please ask if any doubt in the formulas. Please ask. Is there any doubt? So let us have an example on this method. Basic easy example, then later on we'll discuss the toughest examples or the lengthy examples. So let us take this example. Write down, solve d raised to 4 plus 2d square plus 1 into y is equal to x square cos x. I hope this is visible. Is it? So let us solve this. D raised to 4 plus 2d square plus 1 times y is equal to x square cos x. So to find complementary function, we consider the auxiliary equation and we solve that auxiliary equation. So what are the roots? Actually, this is the expansion of d square plus 1 the bracket square, isn't it? You can check. d square plus 1 bracket square को अगर आप expand करोगे तो आपको ये मिलेगा. So that is equal to 0. So what are the roots? D square plus 1 is equal to 0 and D square plus 1 is equal to 0. So what are the roots of this? D equal to plus minus I plus minus I. So the roots are complex and repeated actually, where alpha is 0 and beta is 1. So in case of complex repeated root, I have written the complementary function here. Please check. That is YC, or complementary function is C1x plus C2, isn't it? We are writing either C1x plus C2 or C1 plus C2x, one and the same. So C1 plus C2x into cos x plus C3 plus C4x into sin x. 4 arbitrary constants involved in the complementary function because the order of differential equation is 4. Please note. Now the next is particular integral. So to find particular integral, we will check the right hand side function, that is x square cos x. So we'll think about the shortcut first. Always remember, we'll give the preference to shortcut and we'll check whether the right hand side function is applicable or the right hand side function is among all those shortcuts. If not, then go to the general method, isn't it? So here the right hand side function is x square cos x. So it is of the form x raised to m cos ax, isn't it? Where m is 2 and a is 1. So let us write the particular integral. Pi is equals to, you can see on the board, pi is equal to 1 upon phi of d, that is I'm writing in factored form d square plus 1 bracket square into x square cos x. So that is equal to what? Immediately after this, this is real part. किसका real part है ये? It is real part of 1 upon d square plus 1 bracket square into x square e raised to I x. What is a? A is 1. Check. Now we'll solve this bracket first. So that is the real part of 1 upon, okay. So this is of the case e raised to ax into v. So I am writing directly using that case. What that case is, I am writing this exponential function outside the operator, that is e raised to ix, and then I am replacing this d by d plus a, where a is I. So d plus I the whole square and plus 1 the whole square into x square. Please check. Replacing d by d plus a, where a is I. So d plus I the whole square plus 1. Now, first of all, expand this bracket and then check what we are doing. So that is equals to, I hope everyone is trying your own, e raised to ix into 1 upon, what is the expansion of this? D square plus 2id plus I square. But I square is minus 1. Is it minus 1 plus 1 will get cancelled? So how to write? D square plus 2id and the whole square x square. Right?
Sir, why d plus 1 square plus 1 whole square?
That is not 1. That
Phi
is
of
I.
d plus a, na, sir?
Phi of d plus a. So what is a here?
A is 1.
A is 1. No, not 1 actually. See, e raised to uh, x, ax into v. So what is the coefficient of x here? If you compare this and this, what is the coefficient of x? I, na?
I, yeah.
So that is why I'm replacing d plus I.
So, sir, then d plus I square plus 1. So
Yes,
why
correct.
again whole square?
This is square, na? D square plus 1 the whole square we are having, na? Actually, phi of d. You can check. Phi of d is d raised to 4 plus 2d square, na? See here, d raised to 4 plus 2d square plus 1. That is the expansion of d square plus 1 the whole square, na?
Yeah.
Is it? So this square is outside. We are replacing inside d by d plus a. So that is d
Yeah,
plus
yeah,
I
got
the
it.
whole square, then plus 1 and again it's square. Is it right?
Yes, sir,
So
got it.
therefore expand this bracket, that is d square plus 2id and plus I square. तो I square क्या है? -1 है. -1 plus 1 will get cancel. That is d square plus 2id square. इसको फिर से एक्सपांड करो. अगर अगर आपको और नहीं भी एक्सपांड किया तो भी चलेगा. Then we can use in this case which formula? But that will be complicated. But still, you should know that formula also. We have already discussed that formula in the last lecture. That is a plus b raised to n. Isn't it? So this is of the form a plus b raised to n. तो ये अगर ऊपर जाएगा तो minus n हो जाएगा. Is it? And in that case also we know the binomial induction formula. So to avoid that formula, what we can do? We can again still expand that. So that will be real part of e raised to ix. What is the expansion of this? That is d raised to 4 plus twice, that is 4 ab, that is I d cube, because twice a into b or a into b, plus b square, that is minus 4d square. Please check into x square. Is it okay? Please check the calculations. Don't get confused with the calculations. If you have any doubt, please ask. So this is my phi of d. वाई दिस इज माइनस? बिकॉज इसका स्क्वायर क्या हो जाएगा, 4i² d², बट i² इज -1, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम राइटिंग डायरेक्टली i स्क्वायर इक्वल टू -1. एंड नाउ व्हाट, इसका काम हो गया एक्सपोनेंशियल का. अभी क्या फंक्शन है हमारे पास, 1/5 d into v, isn't it? So we will operate this 1/5 d operator onto this polynomial function, that v is a polynomial function x². And we know the case for polynomial function. What we are doing, we are expanding this 1/5 d using that Taylor's and Maclaurin series. But to expand that, we need 1 in the denominator, isn't it? Because we should we want to use those formulas 1/1 plus p or 1/1 minus p, right? So to get that standard form, what we are doing, we are either taking constant term common. If constant term is not there, then what, we are taking lowest degree term common. So what is lowest degree term here? What is the lowest degree term? 4d², right? So I'm taking -4d² common. So minus 1/4d², I'm writing like this, into 1 this will be +1, so I'm writing that first, and this will be minus d⁴ plus 4d³ upon 4d², please check, into x². So what can I do? I can take a d² common from these two, that will get cancelled with these d². So the simplified form is real part of e raised to, see, this is not again the difficult case, huh? Only the matter of calculations. So please don't get confused and don't get much afraid about these calculations. That is just a simplification, -1/4d², 1/1 minus, what it will be, by taking d² common, this will be d² plus 4d, d² plus 4d upon 4 na, right, upon 4 and into x². That's it. तो ये हो गया हमारा एक स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म, 1/1 माइनस p, दिस द होल इज p, ये आपका p है, ठीक है. सो लेट अस एक्सपांड इट. तो अभी हमने स्टार्ट किया इस एग्जांपल को, तो इसको खत्म करना पड़ेगा, इजंट इट? ऐसा नहीं कि बीच में छोड़ दे इसको. तो 1/1 माइनस p, तो क्या होगा उसका एक्सपांशन, इट इज रियल पार्ट ऑफ e raised to ix minus 1/4d into एक्सपांशन. इसको मैं करली ब्रैकेट करता हूं. एक्सपांशन क्या है, 1 प्लस p plus p². All the terms are positive, so I'm simply writing the empty bracket, but that is not empty, remember, and plus and so on, that is operated on x² and the curly bracket complete. Now in this infinite expansion, which terms we have to consider? Those which are non-zero, right? So which terms are non-zero? Up to the powers of order of polynomial. So what is order of polynomial here? Order of polynomial is 2, so we have to consider the terms up to d² only. So let us write only those terms. The remaining terms we can neglect directly. So here it is -1/4 e raised to ix into 1/d of this -1/4 I'm writing outside. Huh? Please don't get confused. Into, let us write the non-zero term, 1 plus. Is this term non-zero? Yes. 1/4 into d², that is non-zero. Plus, is this non-zero? 4/4 will be 1 plus d plus, अभी इसी का स्क्वायर है आगे, तो यहीं से स्क्वायर करते हैं, 1/16, 1/4 का स्क्वायर किया मैंने, एंड देन d² प्लस 4d का स्क्वायर. तो उसमें से सिर्फ स्क्वायर टर्म मैं लिखूंगा. कौन से स्क्वायर टर्म है, देखो, d² प्लस 4d का स्क्वायर, तो क्या हो जाएगा अगर एक्सपांड करते हैं, तो d² स्क्वायर विल बी d⁴, दैट इज नेग्लेक्टेड. Please note, d² square will be neglected because that will be d⁴ plus twice ab. तो वो क्या हो जाएगा, d cube, and that is again neglected, isn't it? And plus b square, that is 4d का square, तो वो क्या हो जाएगा 16d square. Please check. So that is only the term from the square. Is that okay? So now the next is cube. So is there any square term in the cube? Check. So that is iska cube, d square raised to 3 will be d raised to 6. That is neglected. Then I hope you know the expansion of cube. Let us write a plus b the whole cube. That is a cube plus 3 a square b plus 3 ab square plus b cube. Isn't it? So iska cube
Sir,
ho jayega, that will be neglected. Yes, yes.
sir, while doing that expansion, you missed that I term. For ID, it is there, no? So that I guess 1 upon
Here
it
in the
will be
denominator.
minus. Yes, sir. D square plus 4 ID by 4 should be there, no?
Okay, here it
Because
is 4 id. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Here.
so that upper when we expand by the square term, it should be minus 1 upon 16 into
Yes,
6 D
yes,
square.
exactly. Yes, that is I, na? Is it? Is it correct now? I here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now when we expand this, then first will be neglected, then second also neglected, and third will be 4i square d square. So that will be minus, right? So only minus sign. Is that correct now? Please check.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now in the cubic, is there any square term? Please check. That is d square cube will be d raised to 6 neglected, right? Then 3a square. तो इसका फिर से स्क्वायर d raised to 4, that is again neglected. Then plus 3ab square. तो a and इसका स्क्वायर, तो वहां से एक d square टर्म आ जाएगा. दोनों का मल्टीप्लीकेशन will be again d raised to 4, that will be again neglected. And b cube, इसका cube, that will be d cube, that is again neglected. So all the terms in cubic bracket will be neglected. So these are only the terms, non-zero terms in the expansion, infinite expansion. I hope you are getting. Please ask if any doubt. Is that okay? Hello? So 1 by 4 d square plus 4i. Here it must be id, na? id. Please check the calculations. And now multiply by function inside to each term. So minus 1 by 4 e raised to I x 1 upon d, then x 1 into x square plus 1 by 4 d square of x square. What is d square of x square? I'm directly writing now. 1 by 4 into what is d square of x square? What is d of x square? 2x. What is d square of x square? It is 2. Isn't it? Plus I into what is d of x square? It is 2x minus d square of x square, that is 2. This is okay, sorry, I'm sorry. That is minus 2. That's it. Okay, तो पहले तो इसको सिंप्लीफाई करूंगा मैं कैसे. Please check the calculations. Minus 1 by 4 e raised to I x. Okay. 1 upon d x square plus 2ix. ये इसको लिख रहा हूं मैं पहले. Then this is 1 upon 2 minus 2. 1 upon 2 minus 2 कितना होगा? 1 upon 2 minus 2. So that will be 1 minus 4 by 2. 1 minus 4 by 2 is minus 3 by 2. 1 minus 4 will be minus 3 upon 2. Please check. So that is... Okay. Now 1 upon d of this bracket. So 1 upon d क्या होता है? Integration. So let us integrate this bracket first. इसमें बहुत पेशेंस की जरूरत है. अगर थोड़ा सा भी आपका माइंड डाइवर्ट होता है, then you'll miss calculations. So which is equal to real part of minus 1 by 4 e raised to ix. Now integration of this. 1 upon d means integration. So integration of the whole thing, that is x cube by 3 plus 2i x square by 2. So 2 and 2 they will get cancelled. I x square, I'm directly writing, minus 3 by 2 times x. Is that okay? Please ask if in doubt. And now what? Now it's time to separate the real and imaginary part. Now d is eliminated throughout. You can check. D is not there anywhere. So now what I'm doing, I'm multiplying by this, or first of all, I'm writing the Euler
Excuse me,
form of
sir.
this.
Sir, you
Yes, yes.
missed one term. That
Which one?
was 1 upon, sorry, minus 1 upon 4 d square it was there, not d. Because we took minus 4d common from that denominator
Minus
term.
4d square we have taken common, right?
Yes, sir. So you
D
missed one
square.
term. That's d square. So we have to
Oh,
integrate it one more time.
one more times. I'm sorry again. Okay, so that is again 1 upon d of this. No problem. Thank you. So let us integrate it again. That is the real part of minus 1 by 4 e raised to ix. Integration of this again. That is x raised to 4 by 12. Is it 3 4s are 12? Plus I x cube by 3 minus 3 by 2 x square by 2. That is 3 by 4 x square. Please check now once again. Okay, fine. So now let us write the Euler formula for this, because it's time to separate the real and imaginary part. So minus 1 by 4 e raised to I theta को कैसे लिखूंगा मैं? Cos theta plus I sin theta, and this is the whole. तो अभी इन दोनों ब्रैकेट को मैं सेपरेटली मल्टीप्लाई करूंगा, and then we will write the separate real terms in one bracket plus I times imaginary part. Okay, so by multiplying this to each one, which is real part of minus 1 by 4 cos x into this. Minus 1 by 4 x raised to 4. Okay. 48. 12 4s are 48. X raised to 4 cos x. Please check. Okay. That is purely real term. This into this. Then this into the next term. That will be purely imaginary. That I'll write in next bracket. I'm writing. Now see here. What I'm doing, I'm multiplying by each term of this to each term of this, isn't it? And I'm considering the real plus I times imaginary. So I'm writing real bracket first. So this into this will be real. This into this will be imaginary. This into this will be real. So minus minus plus 3 by 16. 3 by 16 x square cos x. X square cos x. Plus next. Now it's say minus 1 by 4 I times this will be imaginary. Minus 1 by 4 I into I will be I square. I square is minus 1 minus minus plus. So 1 by 4 into 1 by 3, 1 by 12 x cube sin x. So I'm writing here plus 1 by 12 x cube sin x. Please check x cube sin x. And next is minus 1 by 4 I sin x into this will be imaginary, isn't it? So that is only the real term. Plus इसी के आगे plus I times now imaginary term. So I'm not going to write that imaginary term. Why? See, you have to write in exam. Here I'm not going to write. So whatever the term that is this into this will be imaginary. तो ये इसको आपको यहाँ लिखना है. Then this into this will be real that we have considered. Then this into this will be imaginary. उसको आपको यहाँ लिखना है. तो दो term आएंगे इसको. लेकिन what we are interested in only real part, right? Because particular integral is real part of the whole complex number. So what is the real part? That is my answer. So what is the real part here? Therefore, pi is equal to कौन बताएगा? Real part is this, ना? ये है आपका real part. So that is our final particular integral. That is minus 1 by 48. Don't get confused with the calculations. You need to check those calculations again. X raised to 4 cos x plus 3 by 16 x square cos x plus 1 by 12 x cube sine x, and that is my final particular integral. Finally, we have got the answer. Please ask if any doubt. Please ask if any doubt. It should be d square. Okay. Thank you, Shweta. Any doubt?
Sir, this example seems of 10-14 marks.
Yes. That's why it is very lengthy. So in 2015 pattern, there was no question on this method actually because of its complexity. So I think we have exceeded the time also. We should stop here. So please ask if any doubt.